The lunch rush at the Rusty Spoon Diner, a weathered roadside stop on the edge of a small Ohio town, had just ebbed on a crisp autumn afternoon in 2025. Sunlight poured through the large glass windows, casting golden beams across worn linoleum floors, where dust motes swirled like tiny stars. The red leather booths bore cracks patched with duct tape, and the coffee was strong enough to jolt a long-haul trucker awake. For Clara Monroe, a 38-year-old single mother with tired eyes and a smile that held on to hope, this diner was more than a workplace, it was her lifeline. Every tip meant groceries for her 10-year-old son, Micah. Every paycheck kept their cramped apartment's lights on. But this ordinary day would unravel her world, cost her everything, and then rebuild it in ways she never imagined, all because of a choice she made in a fleeting moment, a choice that would spark a movement no one saw coming. Clara had worked at the Rusty Spoon for 7 years, ever since her husband, Tom, walked out, leaving her with a toddler and a stack of bills. She'd learned to balance trays of steaming plates while dodging Micah's questions about his father, to smile through exhaustion, to stretch $1 until it snapped. Her hands, calloused from scrubbing counters, still tucked Micah into bed each night with stories of better days. The diner wasn't glamorous, but it was hers, a place where regulars knew her name, where she could pour coffee and kindness in equal measure. Today, she moved with her usual rhythm, clearing tables, refilling mugs, her auburn hair tied back in a loose bun, her apron stained but neatly tied. The bell above the door jingled, and the air shifted. A group of Hell's Angels bikers strode in, 8 men, their leather jackets creaking, boots thudding, tattoos snaking up arms and necks, telling stories of roads traveled and battles fought. The diner fell into a nervous hush. Customers lowered their voices. A man at the counter muttered, "Trouble." Another slid coins onto his table and slipped out. The manager, Mr. Peterson, a wiry man with a permanent scowl, stiffened behind the register, his eyes darting to Clara. Whispers rippled, "Don't serve them. They'll scare everyone away." Clara's heart raced. She'd heard rumors about the Hell's Angels, tales of bar fights, lawless rides, danger. But as she glanced at them, she saw something else: road-weary men, dust clinging to their jackets, hunger in their eyes. One, older with graying hair, winced as he eased into a booth, another helping him adjust his seat. The staff froze. Waitresses huddled by the coffee machine, exchanging glances. Peterson hissed at Clara, "Stay put. We don't need their kind here." But Clara saw no menace, only people needing a meal. She tightened her apron, grabbed her notepad, and walked to the back booths, her hands trembling but her smile steady. "Welcome to the Rusty Spoon," she said softly. "What can I get started for you?" The bikers looked up, surprised. The leader, a tall man with weathered features and a hawk tattoo on his forearm, nodded. "Coffee, black, for all of us. And whatever's hot and fast." His voice was gruff but polite, and the others echoed with please and thank you. Clara scribbled orders: burgers, fries, a side of pie, her nerves easing as they joked about the road, one complimenting the cherry pie in the display case. She served them with the same warmth she gave regulars, adding extra rolls without charge, refilling coffees before they asked. To her, they weren't outlaws, they were customers, human, hungry. One, a younger biker with a scar across his cheek, grinned. "You're all right, lady. Most places make us feel like we're gonna rob 'em." Clara laughed softly. "Just doing my job." But as she returned to the counter, Peterson's face was red with fury. He yanked her into the kitchen. "What the hell, Clara? You know who they are? You're driving out paying customers. This diner's got a reputation to protect." Clara stood firm. "They're polite, paying like anyone else. They deserve a meal." Peterson scoffed. "You're risking my business. Don't push me." The bikers ate quietly, their laughter low, their plates cleaned. They left a $50 tip on a $30 bill, a fortune for Clara, who tucked it into her apron with a small smile. But Peterson's glare followed her. That evening, as she wiped down the last table, chairs flipped onto tables, he handed her a thin envelope. "You're done," he said coldly. "I can't have someone who disobeys orders, puts my diner at risk. You're fired." Clara's breath caught, the word a punch. Fired for kindness? "Mr. Peterson, they were just eating. I was doing my job." He turned away. "Pack your things." Her chest tightened as she thought of Micah, waiting at home, expecting dinner, his small face lit by trust. The walk home was a blur, each step heavy with dread. No job meant no rent, no groceries. Had kindness been a mistake? Clara barely slept, her mind racing. By morning, her eyes were swollen, but she forced a smile for Micah, pouring the last milk into his cereal. "We'll figure it out," she promised, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing inside. How would she explain this to him? How would she find work in a town where word of her firing would spread? By noon, a low rumble shook their apartment building. Neighbors peeked through curtains as a line of motorcycles stretched down the street, chrome glinting in the daylight. Clara stepped onto her porch, heart pounding. The Hell's Angels stood there, Hawk, the leader, holding a bouquet of wildflowers, others carrying grocery bags stuffed with food, diapers, school supplies for Micah. Hawk stepped forward, his voice strong yet gentle. "We heard what happened. You lost your job for treating us like people, not monsters. That ain't right." Clara's hands shook as she took the flowers. "How did you know?" Hawk's eyes softened. "Small town, big mouths. The gas station clerk saw you leaving last night, crying. We asked around. Found out where you lived." One by one, the bikers set down their gifts: fresh vegetables, bread, canned goods, a backpack with pencils and notebooks. A biker named Red, the older one with gray hair, handed her an envelope. Inside was $2,000 more than she'd earned in months. "Why?" Clara whispered, tears spilling. "Because you saw us," Hawk said. "You gave us respect when everyone else turned away. We take care of our own, and you're one of us now." The gesture overwhelmed her. Neighbors watched, some wary, others curious. Mrs. Delaney, the elderly woman next door, clapped softly from her porch. "Good for you, Clara," she called. Clara wiped her eyes, voice breaking. "I was so scared I'd failed Micah." Hawk knelt to her level. "You didn't fail. You showed him what it means to be human." Micah, peeking from the doorway, clutched his sketchbook, eyes wide at the towering bikers. Red grinned at him. "You like to draw, kid? Got you some colored pencils in there." Micah's shy smile broke through, and Clara's heart swelled. Word of the bikers' visit spread like wildfire. By evening, local news vans parked outside, reporters clamoring for interviews. Waitress fired for serving bikers, then they saved her headline the evening broadcast. The story went viral, shared across social media, sparking debates about prejudice and kindness. Strangers sent letters, donations, job offers. A family-owned cafe, the Bluebird, called Clara the next day. "We heard what you did," the owner, Mrs. Carter, said. "We need someone with your heart. Come work for us." Clara accepted, starting the following week, her kindness now a badge of honor. The Bluebird became a hub, drawing customers who wanted to meet the woman who served the Hell's Angels with a smile. Clara thrived, her tips doubling as people left notes, "Keep being you." The bikers returned weekly, always polite, their presence no longer feared but celebrated. Hawk and Red became regulars, sharing stories of their rides, their lives. Clara learned they weren't just a gang, they were a brotherhood, bound by loyalty, many with families of their own. Red, a widower, had raised a daughter alone. Hawk sent money to his aging mother. Their rough exteriors hid hearts scarred by judgment, and Clara's kindness had cracked that open. Micah, inspired by the bikers, started a kindness club at school, encouraging kids to help others without fear. His first project was a food drive, and the Hell's Angels showed up, their bikes roaring, to deliver canned goods. The town, once quick to judge, began to shift. People waved at the bikers, invited them to community events. The Rusty Spoon, under Peterson's stubborn management, lost customers to the Bluebird, its reputation tarnished by firing Clara. Peterson eventually sold the diner, and the new owners rehired Clara as a consultant, asking her to train staff in customer care. Clara's life transformed. The biker's cash gift paid her rent for months, letting her save for Micah's future. She enrolled in night classes, studying hospitality, dreaming of owning a cafe one day. At home, she and Micah created a ritual. Each night, they shared one kind act they'd done, no matter how small. "It's like planting seeds," Clara told him. "You don't know what'll grow, but it always comes back." The town embraced her lesson, launching a kindness week inspired by her story, with schools teaching empathy, businesses offering free meals to those in need. Years later, Clara stood at the ribbon cutting for her own cafe, Clara's Corner, funded by community donations and a loan from Hawk, who'd become a friend. The Hell's Angels arrived, their bikes polished, to cheer her on. Micah, now a teenager, hung a sign he'd painted, kindness served here. As Clara cut the ribbon, she looked at the crowd: bikers, neighbors, regulars, strangers, and saw a town reborn. Her single act of compassion, once a costly risk, had sparked a movement, proving that kindness, even when it costs everything, can rebuild a world.